This is one of our pear trees. It is just blooming like crazy. Oh my gosh, I hope we get so many pears out of this. This is just... Hello, howdy, and welcome back to the garden. I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader. We are planting more trees, and I am taking you along to show you how we do it. I think the only real trick for this is to make sure to mix in some good soil with the native soil at the bottom of the hole, so the tree can get used to the native soil while receiving the benefits of a bit of good soil and compost to help it get a good start. We have a handheld auger that now makes it super easy to make holes and fill them with trees. Where was this 25 trees ago? If you have to do this by hand, I do recommend making the hole a little wider. Makes it easier to get the dirt out and to mix the dirt. If you plan on more than a few trees, consider investing in the auger or a post hole digger. My husband has been wanting to get more trees despite us not having much space, but I was convinced to come along and take a look to see if there was any new and interesting varieties that we didn't have. And, well, joke's on him. I actually found and fell in love with 2 almond trees. So I guess we got more trees. Only a couple more and we'll have 30. Not too bad for a quarter-acre lot. We do like to keep them well pruned, except for the apricot. Those just grow like weeds. We like to add in some topsoil and compost mixed with the native soil to give the trees a good start. After that, we pick the side that looks like it could use more light and point it towards the sun. After backfilling the hole with more soil mixed with native soil, we give it a really good watering to help the soil settle and to also give the tree a good drink. I top off the hole with more soil to fill in any spots that settled. We like to put in a T-post or U-post next to the tree for support. And besides, the trees never go in perfectly straight, so this helps correct the angle a little. T-posts are really handy items to have, and so is a T-post pounder. I did the first few by hand with a mallet, then a hammer, and it was very unpleasant. Hearing protection is a must with both, though. If you plan on using fencing for tomato trellising, or putting in support for trees, or any other number of useful things that T-posts can do, I highly recommend the pounder. We planted the 2 almonds, plus we moved a walnut tree we had been nurturing that a squirrel kindly planted for us, along with about 20 other walnut saplings over the years. So this is the almond. This is one of the almonds, and it's kind of not a great spot for it, but we got it between our blackberries and our raspberries. So I'm kind of hoping I can keep some separation between these plants, but yeah, we'll see. The other almond is over here. It's actually in a raised bed. It has not started budding off yet, but we got it from the store this way, and it's only been a few days, so it still has time. This is actually a walnut sapling that we personally planted, and you can see that the leaves are just starting to open up. So we will nurture these ones a little bit longer just in case the one we transplanted didn't take. But we'll see. The squirrels are always planting new walnut trees for us, so we're kind of not concerned about that one, but it would be nice to have one mature enough to give us walnuts in a few years. This is one of our pear trees. It is just blooming like crazy. Oh my gosh, I hope we get so many pears out of this. This is just insane. I hate to say that we should probably pick off some of these flowers or fruitlets or whatever, but we probably should. This is our other pear. It's a little bit behind the first one because it was planted a little smaller. So I won't be surprised if this doesn't produce quite as much. But it'll be nice if we can get at least a taste of this one to see how it's doing. This is our apple. It is just a little bit behind the pears, which is fine. And then our cherry trees have started blooming as well. The ones out front are doing a lot better. Our plums are fully open. The peaches, the early peach is fully open. No, actually the late peach is fully open. The early peach is not open yet, but it's getting there. So everything is just coming up in bloom. I have been, unfortunately, maintaining the dandelions for the bees. I hate maintaining them in the garden, but I want bees, so it is what it is. So at this point, the weather has finally improved that we are able to start getting some gardening done so I can eventually get some plants in the ground. We put in a bunch of T-posts, and we're going to put some fencing in here, kind of like what we have on the back there, so that I can tie up my tomatoes to this as a tomato trellis. So we did it for both beds, and we actually extended it beyond the bed so that I can plant things just in the ground for whatever I want to, whatever I want to plant in the ground. So everything that's currently in the ground it's doing okay, but it's kind of doing poorly at the same time. I think what I need to do, and this is going to be a real pain in the butt, is I think I need to pull off all of the mulch, put down a little bit of fertilizer and work it into the top of the soil, and then put down a layer of grass clippings. I actually think the grass clippings will probably be a better top dressing for the beds than this big, bulky it's really like a, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a really chunky mulch, and it's just not pleasant to try to plant into. And I feel that I have to pull it away from the plant, so it's not giving the plants the benefit that they should have. So yes, at this point, all of the seedlings are outside, and I don't know if you can tell, but they have actually been doing really well with the food. I should have been feeding them like a month before I started. So the green peppers are looking a lot better. Just the tomato plants in general are looking better. Everything is just looking great. And then I've got the flowers on the other side with the herbs, and they are also looking really good. So these ones had a lot of yellowing at the bottom, but they're doing a lot better. So, and these ones, this is the chamomile. It had stayed really small for the longest time, and now it's getting taller, it's getting greener and bushier, and just everything is looking better overall. So it's been really good. I should have fed it sooner. I did pull these out. Some are looking good, some are looking not so good. They are sitting in shade. So they are outside, but they are in shade. Yeah, see, this one's just not doing all that great. So this one's doing okay. I think this one might be fine. This one might be fine. This is the first one I did. I think it might be fine because it's been doing okay for a while. This one back here might recover, and so might this one. But this one I don't think is doing anything, so I think it's dead. And this one, I think it's dying back, so it could potentially start growing some more from... Yeah, I don't think it's going to. That's awful loose in there. So, well, it is a shame. I think that there was a fine line between waiting too long. I think these ones were a little bit too long, and not waiting long enough. So this one I didn't wait long enough on, and it's just not recovering. So I think this was the fine balance. I do wonder how much pruning the roots back made a difference, because on these ones I didn't prune the roots back, but on those ones, the mini jalapenos, I did. And I think that some of the ones that are the mini jalapenos are doing better than the ones that were not mini jalapenos. So, yeah, let me see. That one's a mystery hot pepper. So this one in the red pot is also a mini jalapeno, and it's doing okay. And then, and I think that was the other mini jalapeno, and it is not doing okay. Yeah, it was the other mini. So, well. And then, coming over to the strawberries are doing well, the leeks are doing well. I don't know what to do with the leeks. The beans are doing okay. I think that these ones they are starting to grow. They are getting taller. I think I need to feed them because they are kind of in the same boat as all the other plants. And then I don't know if it'll happen today because I got some stuff going on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to prepare the garden bed down here. So I got some weeds. So I'll pull back the leaves and the mulch, and I'm just going to prepare this area to put in all of the asparagus. So it's just going to be these two sections of the fencing. I'm going to try to keep them close to the fencing so that I can actually tie it up to the fencing once they start getting tall and frond, like whatever they do. So that'll probably be my plan for today or tomorrow. And then on the weekend, I'm hoping we can get the fencing up, which is the same fencing, and then we can get tomatoes in the ground, which would be really nice. So that is the outside stuff. The inside stuff is, oh my gosh, it is just growing like a weed. I will go in and show you that like right now. These are the basil plants that are in the farm, and oh my gosh, it has been like 35 days is what the Aerogarden says, and they are growing like crazy. They are actually to the point where I'm a little worried about getting them out of the pods without having to destroy the pods or the plants. So you might have to wish me luck on this one. But holy crap, I am going to have a ton of basil. These are the other plants. These are the ones that are in the seedling trays. So hopefully I'll have an easier time getting them out, but I am already maxing out. I'm maxing out on this one with the Thai basil and the mint and that one chive. And I've also maxed out on the one with the dill, and the basil in the back is getting a little leggy because it's competing with the dill, and I don't know what else is going on in there, but these have been sucking down so much water. They have been growing like crazy. It is just insane. In fact, I had to go through and top, I don't know if you can see it, but right there I had to top these because they're starting to go to seed. So that tells you it has been warm enough in the house over the last couple of days that these are starting to bolt, which is sad. Like we went from, I felt like it was freezing out like the last while, and then all of a sudden we're just like, the AC has been kicking on. So this is these. They are, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have trouble getting them out of the trays either, but I'm hoping this weekend I can make a big push and just get everything in the garden. So keep an eye out for that. The little baby chicks are not quite so baby anymore. They are getting pretty big. My husband has, I think he has finally decided on the names. He said he got to name them if we chose them, so yeah, we got chickens, he named them. So we've got Colonel Sanders, we've got Nugget, we've got a Popeye in there. I think we've got a rotisserie and a scrambled. But they are definitely starting to get their feathers in, their colors are starting to come in as well. They really don't like being touched. They think I've got food though, so they do like to peck a little. Yep, they are getting bigger. So we got to build the coop. We'll try to take you along for that. But we did get the blocks for the foundation to get that going, and some of the wood for the base. Yeah, they're getting so big. I mean, they're like 3 weeks old, coming up on, I think they're coming up on 3 weeks. So yeah, that's the update on those. And I don't know if anyone is really following on this plant here. It finally getting a pepper to change color. This one's changing to a yellow, like an orangey yellow. So I want this one to get completely ripe so that I can harvest seeds from it. But I think I managed to kick the spider mite population. I've been checking. I have not been spraying since, I think it's been 10 days now. So I've just been kind of keeping a close eye and checking with the zoom function on my phone. So I fed them properly this time. So I gave them the extra food. And my goodness, this has just like pushed out so many flowers. I mean, it's insane. And I can see some flowers coming in on the pepper plant as well. So definitely I underfed them the last feed, or the second to last feed, but this last feed I gave them more food and they have been doing awesome. So, and they did have some onions sprout, so I decided to just whack them in some water so that they can go out in the garden. And I'll just put them with all the other onions that have sprouted and started growing, and I will just collect seeds from them. That's pretty much what I do. Some of these are, you can see that they split. This one's got like four plants in one, I think, or 3 plants in one. So it is what it is. But I have been, I don't know if you can see, I have been harvesting some tomatoes lately and enjoying them in my salads. I gave one to the chickens. Boy, they loved that. So this is that. There are no more plants downstairs, and then I got to clean that room out and then kick the fungus gnat population in the whole house. And then this one, I really should try to get this upgraded to a bounty, but I don't know if that's going to happen because every time I try to, you know, move things around, it's damaging on the roots and it's hard on the plant. So I don't know if that's going to happen or if this is just going to have to truck along and, you know, suck it up with the space it's got. I just don't know where I'm at with this. But anyways, this is the garden update for this week. There really isn't a ton going on, but the feeding of the seedlings has been working. So there was something missing from my potting soil mix that I had blended up, and it needed food. So I got that under control now. I'm hoping that the plants will sort of catch up a little bit now that they're outside and they're getting great sun and, you know, lots of water and stuff, and I can put them in the ground soon. So keep an eye out for the next video where hopefully I will be putting stuff in the ground. I've got some links to videos from the last few updates if you want to go check those out. Thank you for spending some time with me today, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.